Broadcasting from Baltimore, Maryland, this is 5x3 Radio, where strength is for everyone. I'm your host, Emily Sokolinski, owner of 5x3 Training, a strength and conditioning gym in Baltimore, along with my co-host, Rebecca Fishburne, founder of Cornerstone Strength Maryland. Each week, Rebecca and I will discuss the ins and outs of strength training, why there is a no one-size-fits-all approach, and why strength is so important in our daily lives. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Now, on with the show. Hi, everybody, and we are back. Rebecca and I know it's been a couple weeks. We did our first podcast of the new year, and then it kind of fell off the wagon.
I can't even keep track because everything has changed because now I'm in an office 2 days a week trying to cram everything
else. So Rebecca, so we have had
college kids,
we've had a hard time getting together.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like 2020 was so easy because it was like, yeah, we got nothing else to do. We're home, we're talking. Then 2021 rolled around, 2022, and now 2023, and it's a little bit harder to get together to do our podcast. But we are here today, and we actually got a question from one of my members. She was thinking about community and why she likes the gym so much and what it means to her. Because there's literally a gym, probably multiple gyms, right around the corner from her, from where she lives.
Yeah.
She chooses to come down to us about 20 minutes away, and 20 minutes away, but she drives to us because of the community and also the work that she does with us. She came specifically for the barbell training, but she also embraced just the whole vibe of the gym. Right. So we thought we would talk about gym communities and those who have a community, those who want to be part of the community, and maybe those who don't quite need to figure out somehow to immerse themselves if they're training by themselves. Like, how do you build your own sense of community? But why is a gym community important for people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like you're talking about, like your member who was asking about that. Like, I don't think that's uncommon at your gym or a gym like yours. I hear that like some of my online clients that will drive, like you're describing, past like 3 or 4 other gyms to get to a gym. Sometimes it's just the equipment, right? Sometimes it's like I have a client who drives past a bunch of, 24-hour Snap Fitness, whatever, to get to Tyson's Playground because they've got tons of squat racks. And when I was before I got my rack in the basement and all of that stuff, like I would drive 3 times a week, half an hour each way up to Baltimore. And you've got like Martha who does that from Annapolis. Exactly. Right. So it's not uncommon. And so some of the reason that you do that is equipment and, turf area for conditioning and, plenty of space. But a lot of it has to do with community. Yes. Like people get what you're doing. And, if you're doing the, low bar squat, the toe novice linear progression. Starting out like that, you don't have people coming up to you saying, "Oh, you're going to break your back squatting like that." You don't get the naysayers and the people. No. What are you doing sitting around so long in between sets? You're never going to get fit that way.
And I think that's
like any of these comments that you get all the time when you go vacation gyms.
And it's
driving you crazy.
I think that, we've talked about, I'm sure we've mentioned community before in another podcast, but obviously one of the great things about CrossFit, right, and CrossFit gyms is their sense of community, that because you're doing classes, you're with other people who are there for the same reason you are. And they that's kind of like their customer service, like the fact that there's a community here and we're all here for each other. We're all here, together, and, lots of high fiving and, cheering. And I mean, that's kind of like, that's CrossFit. Some people like that. They like that environment. It appeals to them because there's a sense of group, of community, right? You've got your group fitness classes at a commercial gym. Same thing. You got the same people all the time. Why? There's a community there. So, and I think you definitely progress better and you train better when you're around other people, like-minded people, right? And it's important for people to have that time, especially now when we were kind of, locked up for how many months or weeks, about 3 years ago. people wanted to get out and see other people. There is a sense of wanting to be around people, and for some people, the gym can be a very intimidating place. Just in general, they don't want to walk into that commercial gym because everyone looks like they know what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing in a commercial gym. We've seen the videos, you know what they're talking about, but so then when they come to a gym where there is a good, strong community of people, and they feel welcomed, they feel encouraged, they feel like they're a part of something. Even if they're just training in one of the racks and really not talking to too many people, they're still there. They can still look out and see all these other people who are doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and being able to do that, like, I remember there was a point early on, I don't remember if it was something you guys were trying to coach me on with deadlift, maybe, and it wasn't quite clicking, but I was up there on a Saturday and looking around and seeing everybody do what I was doing, and seeing different body types, people my size doing the lifts and what it looked like. And then, sort of it just clicked that day. Like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be making my body.
Yeah. When you're watching other people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you're getting started, it can really be helpful in terms of reinforcing what's supposed to be happening in terms of the lifts and the form, and like slowing people down in between. You guys used to, that was always a joke, like I couldn't sit still and wait in between work sets. The day Diego finally got me to, the weight was heavy enough, I sat down. He's like, oh, I made her sit. She's sitting.
Yeah, it's a different place. I mean, people go to commercial gyms and they wear their headsets. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want anybody to talk to them, right? With us, I mean, obviously the whole point of you coming is you're being coached, right? You're getting instruction, you're getting coaching, and you're also meeting other lifters who are like-minded with you, getting the same instruction. So if you got your earbuds in and you're listening to music and you're at my gym, that's the purpose of you being there. And I will tell you, you need to take those off when you're actually like doing your work set weight so I can coach you. That's why you're here, right? I mean, I don't mind when some people, they'll put their earbuds in, but definitely it's a very, very, very small percentage of people, right? Sometimes it's just trying to hype themselves up for for a lift. And if my music's not doing it for them, which I understand. I play a lot of 70s. But there is that, when people are around other people, they tend to they come out of their shell a little bit more, right? They start to embrace kind of being with people, even if they're introverts, right? Many introverts come to my gym, and it's surprising because I think they come because they have the individual racks and they can get at their place and do their thing. Well, but they still talk.
A lot of people that are like particular or like have a little streak of OCD or whatever. Kind of introverted, like this is appealing lifting.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's what
way to go about it.
Whether you call it a gym community or whatever you want to describe it, or why you're there, people like that sense of camaraderie. We have a new member. She's actually a drop-in. She lives in Pasadena. Pasadena's what? How far is that? 25 minute drive?
Well, that's near me.
Yeah, okay.
So that's probably 25.
So minutes. She's she was referred to us by another a friend of the gym, and came up and did 2 sessions with me. She moves great, and she does her own workouts at home. She's got a whole program. She's got the equipment at home, but she wanted to be a part of a gym. She was tired of lifting at home by herself. And even her husband said, "Why are you driving all the way up to Baltimore?" She goes, "Because there's a gym and they're like-minded people who are doing what I want to do. And also I want to learn some traditional, get on a traditional strength training program." Because right now she's doing more like WOD stuff, right? With deadlifting and squatting in there, but she wanted something very basic. She was looking to train for the Charm City Strong Woman contest. So she drives up 25, 30 minutes to come to a community, to come to a place where she's going to get instruction, she's going to get coaching, and she's going to be in a room with people who are doing just what she's doing. So she doesn't feel alone. She can still be in her own space, but there are other people around her. And you were mentioning before the podcast. You can
be in your own head, but together with other people.
And you mentioned in your podcast, before we started recording, that one of your New Year's resolutions was to be around more people.
Be more
Be more
social.
social.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm introverted in general anyway. Some people are, real social
Right.
butterfly, not me.
Right.
I have to, be comfortable with somebody, and then it seems like I'm an extrovert and can't shut up. But like if you put me in a new environment,
Yeah.
and I'm really pretty much gonna just sort of sit there
Yeah.
quietly most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like I think, that sort of connection and interacting with other people. The reason I was sort of identifying that as an area for improvement for me for a New Year's resolution was just because I think that's good for your mental
Yes.
health.
Yes.
Like a lot of stuff I've been reading recently gets at that idea, how interacting with others, socializing, having conversation, good for your brain, good for your mental health, good for memory exercise,
Yes.
like all these sorts of things
Yes.
that I think are just, important parts of being a good human.
Yeah. 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 And I think
And you don't get that so much in your basement by
no,
yourself.
no. And you don't even get that in like, even in a commercial gym where there's a crowd of people and you're in the weight room and everyone's got, like I said, their headphones on. People gravitate towards, I think, the classes, like the fitness classes, because now they're around people. Now you're talking to your neighbor next to you before class starts. You might be talking a little bit during class. You're going to talk after class. People meet each other that way. I know when I lived in New York, I was at the Y. I belonged to the Y. And there's this great funk aerobics class that I used to take. And I fell in love with the teacher because I wasn't dancing. It was my year after college, and it took some time off from dancing. But this was kind of such a fun aerobics class, but because it combined like hip hop, right? She choreographed. She was a great choreographer. So it wasn't just like, aerobics exercises. It was a whole dance that we would do like in parts. And I started to know the people because they were coming at the same time I was coming. So you got there and you saw people you knew, and you struck up conversations and you had a good time, and I'll see you next week. And even if you didn't see those people the rest of the time, you knew you were going to see them on Tuesday nights. Yeah. And there's something that
you've got a common thing to talk about. Then,
yeah, you look forward to seeing these people. You look forward to the class. It makes you, it makes you get out the door. It makes you get outside yourself. And I'm not really an extrovert. I'm kind of, I guess, an in-between introvert, extrovert. I can talk to people. It's exhausting for me, but I can do it, right?
Yeah, so you and me, introverts who can act like extroverts
exactly.
on occasion, and then need to go home and take a nap.
I was told once when I was in college, Emily, you're such a social butterfly. I was like, I am not a social butterfly, but I can act like one, and if the environment is just right. So it's that sense of being with other people. And I think gyms like mine and gyms like Bo and Angie's out in Westminster and, down in Pasadena at Mindy's gym, there is a sense of camaraderie, right? People gravitate towards people who look like them or, don't look like them even, right? Because they realize this is a place where everybody is doing the same thing and everybody.
Yeah, or like working. The train like them.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's,
yeah.
If you're a person who likes to do group fitness classes and machines, you're going to find a gym and feel a sense of community in one type of gym.
Right.
If you're a person who likes to do barbell training, strength and conditioning, you're going to find, that sense of camaraderie and community.
Yeah. And it keeps people motivated. I mean, we talk about like motivation and discipline. It does keep people motivated. I think having a community gets people enjoying their time then at this place of exercise, right? Some people may not really, I love to move my body. And I 6 days a week, I'm doing something, right? The only day I'm not doing something is on Saturday. And I wish I could, but I enjoy moving my body. And I think going to a gym where other people are doing what you're doing encourages you more to be there because you're going to see somebody. Someone's going to know that if you don't show up, they're going to be emailing you or calling you. It's expected that you're going to be there. There are people who, when you walk in the door, they say your name. It's like George and
like cheers.
Exactly, George. Mario walks in the door. Manny goes, Mario, Manny. I mean, and so there's a lot of, and everyone says goodbye to each other, to the whole group. There's definitely a sense of I'm home. I'm here. Yeah. This is my place. People like me. People are doing the same thing I'm doing. And I have a place where I can be just a little bit different, and be myself maybe even. where somewhere else I can't really be myself. But here I can because we're all like-minded and we're all enjoying each other's company.
So you've got you've got that accountability in that people are expecting you or they're looking for you. And you've got that sort of sense of understanding about the type of training that you're doing and people not looking at you sideways because you're doing low bar back squat or you're resting 5 minutes between your work sets. But also, I mean, I think another way that being part of a gym community like that can be motivating is like, you can have these little I don't know, mini competitions in a way between gym members, like encouraging each other on, like trying to hit their PRs, and like seeing, I think a lot of times seeing other people hit their PRs, or hit their goals is an encouragement to you to keep striving for your own PRs. Whereas like, I mean, for sure, training in my basement over the past, however many years, I've gotten kind of used to that because it's convenient. It saves me an hour every day that I'm going to train because I'm not driving. And at this point, that's kind of important to me. But like, I'm not hitting PRs, right? Like, of course, it took me a while to figure out that it's not actually a gravity vortex or something in my basement. My plates do not weigh what they're supposed to weigh. They've degraded, and I've got 45-pound plates that weigh 49 pounds. So it's like, it's a mess. But, it's just like in my own basement, just trying to motivate myself. Like I do the lifts, I do the training, I show up, I do that, but I'm not like pushing myself in the same way. Some of that is maybe just like I'm in a different phase with my training.
Absolutely.
But my motivation to be hitting PRs is not there. Like I don't have that, like watching other people get so excited about hitting their PRs and being like, "Ooh, I missed that." Like I don't miss it because I don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. We a few weeks ago we interviewed one of my members, and I haven't put the interview out yet because I wanted to kind of play around with the editing of it. But we interviewed Manny, one of my older lifters, and I mean, he's retired. He's been retired for a number of years from his job. He was a neurologist. And he'll be at the gym for 4 hours.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket.
He loves being there. He's retired. He's got nothing else to do. This is his day. This is his time to talk to people, right? He's part of a community that he can't, a community outside the gym that he really can't talk about lifting with, or exercise.
Yeah, because most people outside
they don't want to hear it. But here in the gym, he can rattle off about this person deadlifted this, and I read an article about this, and he's talking to my mom and to Jack today, and this guy deadlifts this much weight, and they're looking at it like, this is great. Why are you telling us this? I mean, it's because he's excited about it. So he loves the environment. This is it's important. And when they first started in 2020, they were definitely concerned about COVID, he and his wife, because, there were no vaccines yet, no boosters yet. So he wanted to be at the gym before the gym opened because he wanted to make sure he wasn't around too many people. But once I took over their training after Jay went back to when Kenny Krieger opened up again, they got to stay there longer. Well, when they got to stay there longer, all of a sudden they're meeting all the other gym members, and they're starting to create. And now it's like there's no question he's going to be there for hours afterwards because he likes everybody who's there in the morning. He just sits there and yaks away, right? But
after doing the interview, I find that hard to believe.
So I'm going to I'll put the interview up. It's going to come up soon. But so his community, at the gym community, is extremely important for him because this is where he can talk about the subject of lifting with me, with everybody, and everybody nods and, listens to him and agrees with him or says, I didn't know that. And he can, then, share his knowledge of what he's learned. It's the highlight. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the highlight of his week. I don't know what he does the rest of the time. Probably just sits at home, staring at a wall, thinking about when he's going to deadlift.
He's like, too bad I got to do a recovery day. I'd rather be.
He would rather be lifting. He does. He said to me, I love exercising. I love moving my body, and he loves training. He's always, he and his wife were doing CrossFit prior to doing this, so he loves pushing himself. He's a 74-year-old man. And he's going to keep doing this forever, but it's the community that really gives him that push, right? Which he hadn't experienced for like almost 6 months until I took over their training, and then, they could stay longer. And man, staying, it's like, please make me leave. No, please. He doesn't leave. He'll leave at 12:30 when I close it, up, and he's been there since 8:30. So, but yeah. He doesn't, this is his world. This is really a huge part of his world.
Well, but yeah, it's like his social hour.
It's a social hour. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And for many people, it is their social hour, but it's with other people who.
Oh, I said like outlet because clearly it's not an hour.
Oh, no. No. So, the community makes a big difference. It can make or break somebody's reason for staying or leaving. And I have often over the years heard from people over and over again, it's the community at your gym that keeps me coming. I can't, and I'm going to miss this group. I'm going to miss the gym when people have to leave. Because they really have met people who they like, different people, all different backgrounds, and it's fascinating when you start talking to somebody and you learn what they do, or you get a little bit more into their life, because people like to share their personal information, not too personal, but they'll share, and they're gonna get somebody sharing back, and then all of a sudden they have this connection now, and then when they see each other, they can kind of continue the conversation, keep continuing that conversation, more and more, and a lot of people have created amazing friendships as a result of the gym. So community is, I think, number one for many people. They don't because it's already, like I said earlier, it's already intimidating to go somewhere. It makes it much easier when the people there look like you, are doing what you're doing, and are just, good people, good, friendly people. I mean, we have that at 5x3. People don't stay who don't want to be part of that group, right? They don't stay. So it's important to make sure people feel, I think, successful and encouraged when they are somewhere where they might not feel so encouraged somewhere else, where everybody's got their headphones on and they're just plugged in and and doing their own thing, and no one's there really interacting.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I hear this a lot, like in the commercial gym where I work, when a good number of people who sign up for personal training are doing that for exactly the reason that you just said. They feel uncomfortable and out of place in the free weight room. Right. They feel like other people, are judging them. They're not being, people are just, they're not trying to be rude, but they're in their own world. And I mean, when I lift in that, in that sort of setting, a lot of times I'll put my headphones on too. Sometimes they don't even have music in them. Right. But it's just to give the message, like, I'm doing a squat set right now. Don't talk to me, because it's surprising in a commercial setting how many people will try. I mean, I guess it's sort of like we're saying two things. People don't talk to you, but people do talk to you. I mean, if you're at a gym long enough and people know you, they're going to talk to you. And if they don't understand that you're doing strength training, and they don't understand the intensity that you're working at, they'll try and talk to you in the middle of a work set. And, I've had that, lost presses multiple times in that setting, because it's mirrors and people walking up behind me in the mirror and waving and saying hello, and just all sorts of weird stuff.
And the idea that you're in the middle of literally lifting, why would someone think that would be okay to start to talk to you while you're...
But that's where you get into a situation where it's like they don't understand that type of training, right? So if they're on a machine, they can, pump out however many 12, 15 reps of whatever they're doing on, a machine or cables or whatever, and still be talking to the person on the machine next to them. It's not the same thing.
No. And I think, our new people who come to the gym do learn kind of community etiquette, right? Gym etiquette, like putting your plates away. Everyone puts their plates away at my gym. Everybody puts...
Or buys donuts.
If they don't. But they also don't walk in front of people if they're, I mean, sometimes you have to, it's okay to walk, past somebody, but no one's talking to somebody. If I'm coaching someone, people do not walk in front of me. I was coaching someone today, and one of my members saw me.
Like between you and the lifter that you're coaching.
Yeah. They stopped. They didn't move. I finished watching somebody. They finished, I moved, they moved. And I appreciate that. There's a sense of, I'm going to stay out of the way of this person because they're in this moment. They're training. They're doing it.
Well, and also just like coaching, but like I have a lot of clients at this point who are online clients, and I've seen this in their videos. Like I've got one client who's been lifting a lot of times early morning at his work gym. Like they have a squat rack at his work gym. That's nice, right? And he'll get the camera set up, and like, if somebody was videoing their lift at 5x3, people would get it. They would know what was going on, right? Like I can't even tell you, I've gotten bunches of videos from online clients where people are walking in front of the camera. This one guy sent a video one time. He's like, basically like, oh my God, these knuckleheads, right? Like same thing we're just talking about. Like they start, chatting him up and, giving him a hard time. And what are you doing? And he's in the middle of heavy squat. So, yeah.
I don't get that. I mean, and I remember a story that Susan told me when we were closed. I can't remember why. It must have just a few years ago before I had enough coaches to keep the gym running. I had to close when I went on vacation. Mm-hmm. So she went over to the Under Armour gym in downtown. And she had like a free week pass. Someone gave her. So there was nobody in the weight room at this time that she was there. So she's got herself up in the rack, and she gets under the bar, and she's literally under the bar in the rack. And someone walks over, puts a box down inside the rack, and starts doing chin-ups.
Oh my Lord!
And this was a trainer,
like inches away from her.
Literally in the same power rack.
Yeah.
And she just stopped and she racked, and it was just like this look of she couldn't even believe someone would do that. It was, and she said the rest of the gym was empty. They were playing, but somehow she had to come over to that rack, and this was a trainer, not just some another client. So she wrote a complaint, and they try to say, well, we'll give you a free month, and she's like, I'm never coming back here again. This right away is like, this is how you're going to conduct yourself that would be like Diego deciding to do his chin-ups right when someone's about to squat, right? Because he uses some of the racks that we have chin-up bars on. But that would not even occur. It would not even occur to anybody to start
wait your turn and work it.
I don't even, the concept of just like someone's literally under the rack about to pick up a bar, and you put a box there and start doing chin-ups in front of them. I mean, you can't make this shit up, but that's what happened. And surprisingly that it was an actual trainer, but some people just don't have any common sense. So you have to find, the community is important. And even in a commercial setting, you might be able to find somewhat of a little community, but there's a different etiquette that's really not taught in gyms. And it should be like on the first day, like when you join as a member, even in a commercial gym, they go through gym etiquette with you, putting your plates away. Don't walk in front of somebody. Don't talk to somebody while they're lifting.
You're saying this happens in commercial gyms, or should?
I think it should happen, because I have an intern right now who's working with me on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and he came to us asking if we would have him as an intern. He's a trainer at a gym in Baltimore. He trains a number of personal, one-on-one clients, and he wants to delve more into starting strength, into this model, right? And use and learn better, learn how to coach better, learn how to coach the squat, the press, bench, and deadlift better. So I was joking with him. He sent me a text asking how many donuts do people usually bring, and so I was like, a dozen. So he brought donuts last Saturday just to bring, right? So I said to him, I was like, I thought when you asked me the donut question that you were doing that because you wanted to implement that same rule at your gym. And the minute I said that, the minute it came out of my mouth, he looked at me. We both started to laugh. I said, oh, I forgot you coach at a commercial gym. He said, Emily, we would have donuts all the time, 24/7, because nobody puts their weights away. Yeah. Their mother puts their weights away, i.e., me and the other trainers. I said, I don't understand that. The first thing you do if you join a gym should be you were told to talk to about how to handle the equipment and what to do. And we do it without telling people, because when we're training people, they see us putting plates away. They see us taking plates off and putting them on the floor if we need them, but then we also put them away, and they also kind of will put things away. I'm like, oh, you put that away, but we need that. But there's a conscientious thing. They look and they see the gym, and the gym is clean. Weights are away. Bars are up on the rack. Bars are put away. Nothing's late. So they had this right away. It's like, oh, I got to put my stuff away because this is what is expected of me. You put that in, you make that an expectation in a community, even in a commercial gym, and you're going to see a really different community, I think. I think you'll start to see more people talking to each other because they're putting things away, and they'll start to chit chat with somebody. But everyone just leaves their stuff all over the place. It's almost like they're in their own gym and someone else is going to pick this up. I'm paying for this. No, you're not. You're not paying me to pick up your shit.
Yeah, that's my own.
That's not my job. So, it's different. It's a different environment. It's such a different environment to be at my gym than where he works.
Well, so, I mean, we're talking about what is great about a community, a gym, where people are doing strength training, understand what you're doing, all of the benefits of that, the mental health, the social, the accountability, the motivation, all of that sort of stuff. And you kind of got at this in what you were just saying, by indicating that you can create this sort of environment in a commercial gym. So, I mean, I guess like where I'm thinking we talk about a little bit too is how do you do that then?
Right.
How do you create a sense of community if you don't live near a gym like 553? What are some other ways that you could find that, or some variation of that?
Yeah, I think the online coaching, finding a coach online, that at least gives you some one-on-one time, with somebody outside of your garage gym. I think my online clients, I have quite a few who come in person to do their sessions, right? So they have their own stuff at home, but they love being in the gym when they're there. And they do that because they're close enough that they can come and see me, and they want that in-person session because they also want to be around people too, and I think at a commercial gym, it might be definitely harder to create, a community there for yourself. You'd have to try to strike up a conversation with somebody, or I don't know. But I think a gym I feel like they could do that. They could help people build that community by putting certain things in place.
For a while at the gym where the commercial gym where I work, I had, it was not an ideal situation because I couldn't work with everybody's schedule, but I had a once a week women's strength group that was, like for an 8-week session, just to get the women started and comfortable and familiar. And out of that, a couple of Lift Buddy sets, established themselves. So a couple of people were like, hey, they'd met each other in that little mini training session. Yeah. And then they just kept that up. And they also, because we could only meet 1 day a week, and because they knew that ideally they were to be lifting 2 or 3 days a week, they would make plans with each other. They sort of, figured out ability and like I had a woman in that group who was 70, and then I had people in that group who were in their 30s. So some of the 30-ish year old women paired up and, had a lift buddy that way. And the woman who was in her 70s wanted to continue lifting as well. But what she decided to do then was work with me individually, like personal training. So, I mean, there's some ways you can kind of create that in person in a commercial gym. And then if you've got a lift buddy and somebody's trying to talk to your lift buddy while they're doing their squat set, or somebody's trying to set up their pull up right in front of your lift buddy while they're doing their squat, you've got somebody who can be the voice of reason for you while you're working and be like, she can't talk now.
So that
you see her, she's working really hard. So hold on and wait your turn.
So what you're talking about was you yourself as a coach got a group of people together to coach them you create a little community there within the gym, and then from there, after those sessions were done, those women were able to create a little bit of community for themselves to continue after, or the rest of the week. That's what it takes. It takes somebody to kind of bring people together, even in a setting like that. And I think gyms could, like other gyms could do that. The commercial gyms could do that, where the trainers could say, or the owners or whoever could say, we're going to establish this to try to make it more inviting for people to want to come to our gym and train. One of the reasons one of my members comes to us, even though she lives right around the corner from the gym where my intern coaches, she's like, I looked on the website and it's just all pictures of trainers. Nobody looks like me. Like, I don't see pictures of people who look like me. And then she came to my page and my website, and she's like, those people look like me. I see real people. And that's and that's important to people, right? They want to see people who I think look like them. You go and it's all about your trainers. Well, but that's not appealing to me, because I want to be in an environment where people, don't necessarily, they can look like that, but I want people around me who look like me too. And that's
by which way, what I think you're saying though is like, people a lot of times will go into a gym and feel like I've heard this a lot of times, I'm not fit enough.
Right.
Be lifting in a gym. Right. So people who feel like they're not strong enough, they're not fit enough, they're not capable, or they don't want to be kind of like out in the public eye doing this yet. And so if they look around and the gym is full of people who looked like they just stepped out of
Instagram page,
Instagram, Muscle Magazine, like, which is like whatever. Then that sort of, for somebody who's already feeling a little bit out of place or intimidated, that just exacerbates that
I know I have a lot of my members who, if they were somewhere else, would not feel nearly as confident in what, and they would not have continued because people would have dismissed them. People would have dismissed their abilities. My older women would have been dismissed, possibly. My bigger clients would have been dismissed because, well, why do you want to get strong? You need to do this first. No, I want to get strong. My business and how I want to take care of my body is my business. And this is why I want to do this. My business is I want to be stronger. Right. It's like, you meet the client where they are. If they come to you because they want to get stronger, you make them stronger. You don't tell them what you think they need. If they want, or a sense, if they want to come and they want to lose weight, well, you help them with that too. If that's your specialty, right? My specialty is helping people get stronger and move better. So that's going to be my goal. Whatever else you want to do, we can talk about too, but you're coming for that, I can help you. Right. And you want to make sure you're in the right community that's going to be beneficial to your wants and needs and goals. And if you don't think that environment is for you because it's really, you're not getting the right vibes from the people who train there or work there, it's not going to be a good place for you. Yeah.
And so, it's like, if you can find a whole gym, a whole community that fits the profile of what your goals are, that's great. If you can create a little mini community within a commercial gym, that's maybe a second best option. Yes. And then I think, if absent of either of those, like if you live in a really rural area and you're lifting in your gym in your basement by yourself, or you're just doing that for convenience, or you're at a commercial gym and you can't find a lift buddy or a lift group, or you have to, maybe, I don't know, you're a shift worker and you're lifting really late at night, everybody else is asleep, then, whatever that reason is, then I think, like online is a good option, maybe online coaching, but also there's a lot of online
I was going to say Facebook. Yeah.
So, like after her fives or after your fives. And I've gone on those plenty of times and carped about what was happening around me in a commercial gym. And you get people like immediately who are like, I know what you're talking about. Like that happened to me the other day too. And it's just nice to have somebody, even if it's virtual, like that, to commiserate with, or understands your frustration when you asked for a spotter and they grabbed your bench bar away from you, and how upsetting that can be, and they don't think they did anything wrong grabbing.
I think that's exactly what I was going to say. The online presence, not just the online coaching. I mean, that'd be good, because then you have a coach that you're working with, and you feel like you're part of something now, because you're not just lifting on your own. You're sharing what you're doing with somebody who's going to give you, obviously good feedback. But then those Facebook pages or groups of other people who also train by themselves. So then you have an online community of people that you can ask questions of, or vent, or talk to, and then create friendships, and then possibly meet up.
Like you hit a PR and nobody else in the gym recognizes or understands what just happened.
They do.
You've got no one to celebrate with. You stick it up on that Facebook page, and then people are like, "Woohoo, good for you!"
Yeah,
like, that's important.
Yeah, I mean, I share, like, on my Instagram page. I mean, I share a lot of, like, our, not just the lifting, but our puzzle making, all of our puzzling, that we do at the gym. I mean, all the puzzles on my stories. Oh my God, I put them all. We do puzzles. We've been doing puzzles for a year.
Oh yeah, no, I missed this.
Yeah, we do puzzles. We have a puzzle table.
Jigsaw puzzles?
Jigsaw puzzles. We have a puzzle table.
Like, you set your timer, you get your 3-minute rest, you go over and put some pieces in the jigsaw puzzle.
I just boxed up 2 boxes, a huge box of puzzles. We went through in 1 year. This I said the boxes symbolize a year of puzzling. We just finished everybody just finished a puzzle that took us about a month and a half to do. This 1,000-piece Milky Way, the Milky Way. It was horrible. And Liz destroyed it yesterday. We got a video for destroying the puzzle. She was so happy. But no, we puzzle. So people they take their phones to the table, put their timer on. They're sitting there. They're talking. They're putting the puzzle together. The timer goes off. They go and do their lift. They come back. I mean, I've got some really good puzzlers. I've got some really intense puzzlers, right? Like, they have a whole system. Don't mess with their system, kind of thing.
But that is hard to do a group puzzle if you have
wonderful.
It's people are going to move.
No, but it's wonderful. I think the people who are there are like really like they're into it. It's wonderful to see, because
oh my God, yeah, like we got to get up there, because that's
it's
like
great.
Totally right.
It's great. It all started because I got a puzzle for Christmas from my mom. She just saw it. It was a murder mystery puzzle. You put the puzzle together and then you solve the mystery. And I said, I forgot how much I like doing puzzles. So I got 2 more puzzles, did those. Diego said, we should need to find some kind of puzzle swap. I said, yeah, and then he says, maybe people at the gym or something. Maybe, no, I don't think he didn't say that. He was at the gym, overheard Kelly and Abby talking about puzzles, and they're going to do a puzzle swap. He turned to them, he said, you do puzzles? They're like, yeah, we love puzzles. He said, Emily just got a puzzle for Christmas. Oh, wow, we should do a puzzle swap. People bring the puzzles in and we do exchanges. And then Diego just had a brilliant idea and said, why don't you put a table out and do a puzzle here? I was like, that's brilliant. Let's do that. And there we go. And no one, it was amazing how many people were drawn to that and would come, they will lift, they will finish training, and they will sit at that table and work on the puzzle for a half an hour. It's been fabulous. It's been fabulous. And it gives it, so I like it because it brings even more community to the gym. So people get to know each other over the puzzling. They start talking about things, and it's
yet another shared endeavor.
It's an easy way to introduce yourself to somebody, because you're doing something, because we do have a lot of introverts. People like to keep them themselves, but when you get them talking, they'll talk, they'll start to share with you. So that's another way to like create a community, is just to bring something in. Someone suggested a chess game, like put a chess game up and then have people just, moving pieces, kind of playing the game. Checkers. I love the puzzles, because puzzles just, there's something cool about like having to sit there and look at pieces and piece things together and chit chat with somebody. And then when people get a puzzle piece, there's all this screaming and carrying on, someone hit a PR. They got a puzzle piece, especially a hard one. So that's another way to like, bring people together, is create something that they have to do together, because there is a lot of individual work.
Camp, Emily.
It's great. Pete Trupus saw that and was like, if I only had room in Orlando, I'd have a puzzle table. So see, it's catching on. And then some of my members who, are not there anymore are kind of pissed because we do puzzles now. And they're like, why wasn't this around when I was there? I'm like, I didn't know people like doing puzzles. I had no idea.
I hadn't thought of it.
So it just adds even more to the gym. I can't imagine the puzzle table not being there now. It's kind of, it would be kind of strange to not have it there, because it really has been good for many people who just like to kind of relax and hang out there. It becomes definitely a social place, even more so. So yeah, I think gym community is extremely important for many reasons. We touched on obviously a bunch of them, but I think just the whole idea of being a part of something, seeing people who are like-minded like you, allows you to be yourself, right? To kind of not have to worry about trying to be something else because somebody wants you to, look or act a certain way. When you come and there are other people who are doing what you're doing, it relaxes you. You're less stressed. You can focus on what you're doing and know that you're a part of a group where everyone's frustrated just like you sometimes with their own lifts, and you can commiserate with them. It's huge, and I think that's a big part of the. I'm glad I have a gym like that. I really am. It's definitely a place where people like to come, and everybody knows each other's names, and they know and they say hi to each other. No one's off on their own, doing their own thing, kind of hiding in the corner, and it makes people want to come back. Week in and week out. So
they have to see how the puzzle finishes.
Well, we're learning about Deb's daughter's going to have a baby soon, so we're all waiting for the baby to come. We can't wait for the baby to come, so there's that. And then so something else is happening, and somebody else has something special going on. Or Martha's daughter's getting married, so my mom was talking to her about when's the wedding, and so there's all this exciting stuff that you get to share with people. Like, I'm going to have a granddaughter soon, or my daughter's getting married, or, something else is happening. So there's a lot of, I don't know, I keep using the word camaraderie, but there really is. It's a really nice group, and people leave happy. It's family. Yeah, it's a gym family, and people leave happy. They may not see each other outside the gym, or they might. Deb is a good friend, her best friend, Susan, who's Jay's mother. She came as a result of Susan. Because Susan, they do everything together. Well, Susan moved to Asheville last March. Deb's still coming. Deb created this community, spoke to her. My mom and she have gotten closer. So she comes and she and my mom hang out. She talks to Manny, Jack, Martha. It's like she's found another community. Susan's still her best friend, but she didn't stop coming just because Susan left. And that means everything. When people come and then the person who brought them isn't there anymore, but they're still there.
Yeah.
They like it. They like it. They like the environment. They like you. They like what they're doing. They know it's important for them, and and they stick around. So that's it's always a nice testament to the kind of environment that someone creates. So I think
we covered it.
We covered it. I think we did. I hope we covered it for you, Liz. It was her question. But it was great. She just sent me a text. She goes, I was thinking about this the other day. Gym community. I'm like, that's a good topic. We should talk about that, because not all of us have that. And how do you create one for yourself like that? So we're going to wrap up there. I think, again, we've kind of covered all of our bases. If you've got any questions or you want any comments about what we talked about today, you can always reach out to us. You can obviously reach out to me, Emily at 5by3.com. You can reach out to Rebecca at
Cornerstone Strength Maryland at gmail.com.
So either one of us would be happy to hear from you, questions or comments. And just so you know, we just announced the 12th annual Charm City Strong Woman Contest. So registration opened today. I've got registrations coming in. The contest is June 11th, Sunday, June 11th. So I'll be sharing links of the contest, and when our fundraising page gets going sometime in May, we'll put that link in there. But it's coming. It's that time of year already. It's contest time. So it's exciting.
Because we moved it to the spring, so it gets
exactly. We moved it from September to June, which I kind of like, because I like.
You used to always do it the exact same week as the county fair.
Yes,
which was frustrating because that just didn't work for me. But also, it was always kind of cool, the parallels between what happens on the farm and maybe where a lot of the strong woman stuff originates.
We've got a nice classic strong woman contest this year. We're doing a truck pull, log for max reps, max weight axle deadlift, stone over bar, and then some terrible carry medley that we haven't figured out yet. So we should be a nice classic strong woman contest, and our 12th, which means we've been open a long time too. If we're into our 12th contest. So that'll come up. So I'll be talking about that a little bit more and more over the next couple months on the podcast. So thanks everybody for listening, and thank you, Rebecca.
Good to see you.
And we will be back in another couple weeks with our next edition. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Take care. Bye, Rebecca.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to 5x3 Radio with Emily and Rebecca. If you like our show and want to know more about 5x3 training, please visit us at www.5, that's F-I-V-E, the letter X, the number 3.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. To learn more about Rebecca, please visit her website, cornerstonestrengthmaryland.com. Thanks for listening and have a great week.